Speedy thing goes in. Speedy thing goes out. Want to know how these trains pass each other when one's slower than the other one? Let's find out. Hey! How's it going? And welcome back to the series about rails. Now in the last episode, we built the station behind us, and it now gives us 2 passenger stations and 2 freight stations, which means that we may have 2 trains that are coming towards each other at the same time, which wouldn't be a good thing. So in this episode, we're going to work on the trunk line. So, let's get started. Okay, so we're just down here from Charcoal Hill, and the way I've currently been doing traffic management is I've been looking up here, looking down there, making sure nothing's coming, and sending the train on its way. Luckily, we haven't had any major incidents, although there have been some close calls. So, of course, what we're going to do, though, is, because this is a 2-lane track, I thought what we could do here is just have 2 lanes, one going in, one going out. And because I'm in New Zealand, we drive on the left, this will be the out train going this way, and this will be the in train going this way. So, first thing I thought we'd do, hope that train doesn't come back while we're doing this, is we need to make it so this guy can come in. So we'll take out this, go along here, let's run a track along here, we'll maul that so it's across, and that way it'll go, it doesn't matter if it's going this way, that way it'll always go the same way. And I will also grab a switch motor. We'll go for a routing for now. And stick it in there. Oh, need to hit that as well. And probably should also get a routing table as well. Routing table. And we'll just stick that in there. And we'll say for now, redstone equals false. Of course, I'm going to set that up a little bit differently later. So that if it's going this way, there's not a lot down there except for that station. But if it is going that way, we don't want it to always go down here. But for now, I'm just going to set it that way, and we'll use a routing switch. So later on, I don't have to replace it. So that should mean that when the train comes along here, it'll go down there and continue on that way. And of course, down here, when the train comes out of here, it'll go down here and head that way. So that's the basic routing change that I'm doing here. Of course, so we will need to put some signaling in. So I'm thinking we'll probably start the signals about here, just outside the station. So I'm going to place a block signal there, or at least the red-green light there, and 1 block behind it, so about here. Oops. That's not what I want to do. Place in the locking track with a receiver on it, which is there. Actually, no, sorry, let's do slightly different. I need a block relay under it, then the locking track, so that we can hook the next signal up that way to it. And what we'll do on top of that is I'm going to link this here to there. I need to go into here though. I need to set this guy also to be... Can I not access the interface? I need to set it so it doesn't emit a redstone signal, because of course this is tracking this track. So if this is green, we don't want this to be enabled, because that would let the train go this way, even though there might be something on there. And what I might do is we'll also link this guy. We'll link this guy up to the other side over here. So we'll probably do it about here, just before the station. So we'll place a block signal there, and we'll link that to there, so it turns green because there's nothing currently on there. And I will set up the rest of this, so 1 block back. Yes. We will set, actually, no, it's not 1 block back, it's a relay box first. Then a a receiver box there, which links this guy to there. And of course that's the same setup as we have it there, except we'll have it locking track as well. And then if the station is currently free, then it will let something in. We'll need to do the same on here. Now of course we need to link up this guy, so that guy's all ready to go. We can... do I have something I can... do that? That guy's still flashing because this guy's flashing, so let's link that one up as well. We'll take it over to about... just before the exit, so probably about here. And we'll stick our relay box, put a track on top, do that, go into here, change it so it doesn't emit, and we will link it up to there. Move one block forward and place a red-green block signal up there. And we need to set our receiver there, which is linked to that. And now, of course, anything that's on this track, or this piece of the track, up to there, will be let through because it's a green signal. And the same over here, so we'll do exactly the same thing again.
We will take that all the way down. Because it's an hour of night vision. Because it's not easy to see. These tracks are going to get really, really dark anyway. We'll place a relay box there with a track on top and a blocking track. Drop into here and zero that. And as I said, get rid of that. Can I take it off green?
And when we get to, of course, here, we're going to have a slightly different setup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so I've got all the signaling in place. We've got a train all the way down here. That'd be a good start. And you can see it stopped because there is currently a cart on here, and that's why I set that up. I do have a small problem that's slightly longer than I planned. But one of the things you can see, and I forgot to show it in the last clip, is right at this piece here, I've allowed a little bit of extra for the train to come in off this track. Because the last thing we want to do is have the trains sitting at a red signal, which is here, because then of course the next train that's behind it won't be able to go past. In the case of the double lane, that's not a big problem, but because we're coming off a single line, this is a problem. But if we take out this guy here, he'll now go forward. We'll just go place this over here. So then this guy will turn red. And you know what I haven't done? Which I probably should do. Let's go through and just mark all of these as train lockdown. Because of course currently on cart lockdown, and the moment the train goes onto them, into that area, it then stops them going any further. So we'll just do all these around here. And one more there. And I think this one here needs to be done as well. And this one's going to be a fun one to do. We could possibly do it from here. Just hit that. Like that. We will need to give this a manual signal. Because it's already on the track. We could... no, let's just send it. Yeah, let's reverse it. So we'll send it backward a little bit. No, there. And then we'll grab him again and we'll take him out of reverse. And now, of course, he should continue on and not stop. That's better. And he should get up to this red signal here and stop. Because as you can see, the track is not powered. Perfect. Take that off, and he will now go forward. Now, it will apply the same the whole way. Of course, he's going to turn here, though. Is he? Let's make sure. Cool. These things give me a little bit of a creep, because they're not permanently set. They read the train as it's coming in and then change as needed. And of course, as I showed in the previous clip, it's set to redstone equals false. He'll go in there, unload his stuff, and then hopefully he will end up out here somewhere. And on this side, what we actually need to do is we need to set up a signal receiver there. And we're going to link it up into this one here. Which means I need to put in a controller right here, or there, probably here. Put a controller there, and it will link into this receiver, which means it will duplicate whatever this guy has, will go into this one. So we'll tune that into here, and then if this is green, it'll let it through. I'll just put a card here. Should turn red, and of course now it won't let the train through. That's already in lockdown mode as well, which is awesome. So we've got a single lane and double lane track. Now of course we've also got these 3-lane tracks here, which are going to provide an interesting challenge, because I want to use them as a passing lane for both directions. So by default, of course, we'll be going down the left, and the left they're going this way. But if there's a slow train on the track, or something stopped, for example, the passenger trains might have stopped at one of the stations, or the logging train the wood train is going through, we could find ourselves being quite slowed down by them. So in that case, we want to be able to bypass them, or go around them. So what we're going to do is do an interesting challenge to make sure that the trains don't run into each other, but we can use that as a passing lane. So what I thought we'd do first is we'll set up a little track here as block signals. And it's going to be quite a large area. You could do this in lots smaller areas. But I'm thinking just a large area for now is going to be easier to see and understand than having a small area. So I'm going to set this up as one big block signal. Or block. Signal block. Signal block. Like that, successfully paired, awesome. And we're going to set up the rest of these on this side. Is going to be our left. I just realised I put that the wrong way, but I'll fix that in a moment. We'll need to probably take that out. And I'm going to give it a bit of room, probably about there we'll start. Start surveying. Actually, I won't. To put it, I'm thinking let's just follow along with these guys here. Yeah, so maybe 1, 2, 3, maybe about there. And then we'll go over to here. We will place in a relay box in there. With a track on top. And surveyor. First signal. Okay, that's fine. That one. And directly above that, put that one. We will run that to the next one. Where did I do? I've done 2 from there. So 1, 2. Oop, that's going to be a problem. Okay, not a big problem, just a bit of a confusing problem. Go down here. We're probably going to get this quite a little along here. Up. We want to run that. No, not to there. Place that there, and our relay box in the middle. Grab our rail, stick it there, and of course we will need to link it up. Cool. And I'm pretty much going to do this the whole way along here, so let me do that and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so all of the block relays, signal blocks, and the start stop tracks are now in place, which means of course that we have pretty much signaled everything up, except for they're not actually linking to any receivers. So what we need to probably do is let's set up a receiver on each of these, which will link up to the block signal. Just like that, and of course that will now do the basic control whether a car is in front. Now, that's really cool, and it would let us have 2 lines, but what I thought we'd do is we probably need to make it a little more now that we've got that, we probably need to make it so that the trains, when they're coming along, if they get a signal here because of the block signal and they have to stop, we don't really want them to stop right there. We want them to be able to choose either track. So what I thought we'd do is I can get rid of these guys now, because we don't need those. That we'll probably need to get rid of that. And we will set it up so we have another receiver sitting here. And this guy, I'm thinking, will be linked up to a interlock, much like we've done in the other episodes, where the interlock is sent back to somewhere else. So what we actually need to do is probably take that out and go down here and put another piece of board in like that. We will stick in a, maybe take this guy out and that guy out. Put in one of these guys like that with a piece of track on top. We just want it to detect if something's sitting on top. We will of course need our locking track again. No, that's not a locking track. Our locking tracks again. Put that there. So it's going back to that same thing. But if now a cart is, or any form of vehicle, cart, train, locomotive, whatever, is sitting on here, it'll output a signal. We will send that to a controller there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this signal all the way back to a little room I've got down here. Right here. Which we're going to put in a whole bunch of interlocks into. I thought what we'd do though is maybe put a receiver in here. And then have we got interlocks around here somewhere? I think I would, so I use them on a regular basis. Interlocks. And we could put one of the, we'll just put a whole collection of them like this. Because we're going to need the whole room pretty much. Probably might even need bigger. And this one here I'll never link up. It's just, I'm going to put them in two rows like this so they're obvious which side of the track they apply to. Yep, that should do. And this receiver here, so we were working on, probably should link that properly. And what we'll do is we'll link up the track here, this guy, over to here. So it's there. And now, of course, if anything is on that middle track, nothing will go into this line where the interlocks are controlling. As I said, it's to make it simple, because we could just break it up into individual little blocks, but that requires a lot more signaling, a lot more complexity on how it works. But if we go into here, though, we can then just say, okay, this guy here, how about we actually set it up over here? So we'll go, just undo that for a second. Undo. Okay. We'll set it up here, so get rid of this guy, I don't need that anymore. We will grab, take those out, we'll make a little row like that. Grab a block under it. No, not a block to go under it, sorry. We need to put our detectors under it. Like that. And then, do I have enough room? Let's pull out some of this stuff. I don't need the relay box anymore, so we'll move these guys along. And we need some track. Go on there like that. One of those on there. Controller. And we'll put a receiver, which is connected to this guy there. And this guy here will be linked to probably one of these guys all the way down here. Maybe that guy. He's closest to the end. And of course we'll grab this guy and stick him so that he gives an output going to here. And now that, of course, that will mean that if this track is full, it's going to send a redstone signal and stop this guy. But the interlocks are going to allow something to go into here, assuming this track is not full. Pretty cool so far. But what we're going to do, I'm top of that is we're going to need to make it so that the tracks can be sent around. So let's put in probably track there. I don't think I need that anymore. Put a track. Need to put a piece of track there. And we'll need an actuator. Do we have any actuators on us? Router, switch. Nope. Okay. Switch. Just the basic switches. We don't need anything special here. Take that off. Place that there. We'll need to more that guy. I need all these. More that guy. So that if this is taken, it'll send it into there. And we'll send it that way. And we'll do the reverse on this side. Where's our crowbar? Crowbar there. We'll actuate. We'll switch to that way. And then what will happen is, hopefully, this guy will come in here. If it's taken, it'll send it this way, and it'll continue this way. And what we're going to do here is put another actuator in. Another actuator there. And then this guy will be set to, if this is green, then we send it back that way. Now, because of course we can't take multiple signals off here, we're going to send a receiver there, and maybe a receiver there. Now, one of the things I was trying to get this to work, and I was having major problems. Receiver? No, not receiver, it's a controller. Where's the controller? Controller there, and you can see they join up. And one of the things I was having problems with is I had a problem with getting this guy to accept the redstone signal, because he'll work on a red signal, which is fine, we can have him send it if the track is taken, but if it's on redstone you can't control it. So I was trying quite a bit to get this guy to read the signal from the receiver. But what was happening, of course, is every time the receiver get a signal, it would change it, and it just wouldn't work the way I wanted, and we're having all sorts of problems. So I've gone to the idea of going link that guy to there. And now, of course, we can set this guy to output to change when it's red, which means this signal is currently not set. And we'll set this guy over here. We'll make him change only when it's green. So now, of course, if the signal is red, it'll go along here and continue this way. If it's green and it's already on this track, it'll go along here. It does make a slight possibility that the train that is sitting in this track and is currently making it red will leave, in which case it might go around here and then head back around, but that shouldn't happen too often, I hope. If it does, we can always just reverse these tracks around so that it's actually, this one's over here and that one's over there. But for now, that should be most of the work we need to do to get this piece to work. So what I might do, just to make it a little easier, let's have a look for goggles. Is it Google goggles? There it is. These kind of things are quite cool for identifying how things are configured. So what are they currently? They're in tuning, shunting, signaling. We'll throw it on our face, and now of course you can see where all the colours are coming from. Isn't that pretty? You can see the signals are going down to here, and then these guys are going over to here and the signal they're giving. There are different modes to this, but this will help quite a bit when we start watching the trains going through. But what I'm going to do is, now that we've got... did I look that up? I didn't know. Yeah. So this guy will release if this is free, because of the relay. And these guys will release if this guy's free. So hopefully that will be what I want. And I'll set this up further down. Actually, let's just double check that. Have I got a card on me? Cart. So we'll place a cart in here. And you can hear it clunk as it changes the switch over, so it goes down this way. This guy is still active at the moment, even though these guys are all red. It's still active, and you can see the red signal now coming down. And this guy, however, is still green. Should it be green? I don't think it should be green. I think I need to set. Can I access controller? I need to set that to green and red. Flip them around. Nice if that was the default. You could just configure them somehow. That's better. So it should be red because there's nothing on there, and we know how an interlocks, of course, won't release if everything is green. We'll stick a cart on here, and now we should get a green signal. Yes. And if we place a cart here, which means both lanes are now taken, it's now red. Perfect. And then of course we take it this, and it goes clunk. This guy here is still red because of course there is a cart currently on here, which means it won't take it. And these guys are green to let it go through. Cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the rest of these, and I will be back in a moment. Okay, so that up. So that's all the pretty colours in place. As you can see, I've been drawing quite a bit. Yeah, okay, not quite. But the interlocks and the tracks are in to turn things around. So what we're going to do is we will give it a test. Grab a locomotive. Probably just a creative one will do for now, because we're not planning on keeping them here forever. Let's stick it down here. Facing the other way, dude. Thanks. One there as well, and we'll just join that together like that. And we'll send him on the way. Hopefully he'll do what he wants. We will place down a cart there, and maybe one there. No. There, yeah, that's the one. Place that along there. And we'll set him on slow. So hopefully what will happen is he will go into there. Perfect. Maybe I should put another one, put one there. Slow, running. Took a little longer than I thought to get there. Hopefully what will happen is he'll catch up to this guy in a second. Yep, he overtook, and look at that, great. That sounded very good. I think it was just a combination of things going on at once, but that definitely seems to work. Okay, so I think I've covered off the various different methods I'm going to be using for signalling along the trunk line and possibly the branch lines. Any questions, comments, or suggestions on what else I could do? Leave a comment down below. If you're new to the channel and like trains and computers, hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, have a great day and see ya!